Nerd Lag Game Club. Welcome to the Nerd Lag Game Club podcast, the podcast that gives us a chance to step back and play a game with friends. I'm Corey, and I'm joined with 3 party members today. Tonsa.
What's up?
Tony.
What's going on?
And Dan.
Hello.
In this episode of the Game Club, we're becoming an undercover cop in Hong Kong and playing 2012 Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs was developed by United Front Games and published by Square Enix. United Front Games have also developed other games such as Tomb Raider and Mod Nation Racers. This was our game pick for the month of January and was Tonsa's pick, so why don't you give us a brief summary of the story for Sleeping Dogs?
We start off karate chopping our way into Hong Kong as a new returner of Wei Shen returns to his old stomping ground of West. What was it? West Providence or Old Prosperity? Old Prosperity.
Prosperity.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And he meets up with his old friend Jackie Ma, who tells him he's going into the Sun On E, and he introduced him to Winston, a Red Bull, who rival happens to be Dog Eyes, and your character hates Dog Eyes because he got your sister addicted to drugs. But that's the beginning of the game. You're introduced to all these characters, but the twist of events is you're trying to infiltrate the Triad through the Sun On E and do undercover cop missions through the Hong Kong Police Department. And it tends you on wacky adventures and blood, guts, gore, and kung fu. Is that a good summary or
Yeah,
no?
It's pretty accurate.
I mean, it was good, but would you really consider it wacky adventures?
There's some wacky adventures in there.
Some of the side stuff's a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I just meant I had some. The way I do play that game, sometimes it just be super wacky.
Okay, fair enough.
I just was running in and fighting everybody, and then I started just. We'll talk about gameplay or whatever. What we would jump into.
All right, so before we get into the game, I want to give the spoiler warning. So if you want to play this game, then I recommend playing it before listening. With that being said...
Leave and come back.
What?
Leave and come back 10 hours later.
Yeah.
Play
the game, it's good.
With that being said,
Whoa, come on.
Who wants to talk about gameplay and mechanics for Sleeping Dogs?
I can talk about that, that's fine.
Okay.
So the gameplay, you pretty much kung fu everything. Like, you literally can run up the wall and just do a roundhouse kick somebody in the face, which is pretty awesome. You just take on a bunch of mobs of guys in random rooms. Not random rooms, but you'll be chasing a guy, and then there'll just be 10 guys in an alley, and you just gotta fight your way through them. You can use environment to your advantage. I think a couple times, I'd shut a garage door on a dude, or I'd shove their head through a fan in an alleyway, or I'd use a phone booth. I forgot phone booths were even a thing until I played this game. You can use anything to literally beat these people up. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the Batman Arkham Asylum combat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Y is your counter. You have your punch. You have B, which is grapple. Yeah, it's basically Arkham Asylum. It's that same vein when we were getting that, and Assassin's Creed was getting that kind of combat. And then the gameplay wise, racing, the driving's probably one of the worst things about the game, but also fun.
It's pretty weak.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
This is essentially a GTA sandbox game, but with the Assassin's Creed or Batman combat.
Yeah,
and the shooting is also probably the weaker portion. It's not bad. It's not necessarily terrible. It has a lot of stranglehold, slow-mo, Max Payne. If you jumped over cover, you slow stuff down. So all you have to do is exploit it. Is just keep jumping over the same cover.
I just immediately, as soon as they give you guns to start using, I'm this is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So the craziest part is the first time I played this game, I did not use weapons because I was I'm an undercover cop. I'm gonna play this. I do that sometimes. I get in the games and I don't play to murder people, even though you'll shove them into a fish tank of electric eels and shit.
Yeah. There are some gruesome ones, man.
Later on.
Yeah, towards the end of the game, you push that guy's face into a table saw. I'm a
Yep.
cop though.
Yeah, I'm a cop. I'm gonna throw you on a spike of swordfish,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna pick you up
Oh,
and hang
that
you on a
part.
meat hanger.
That part was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what else is in here that I can just do randomly?
Oh,
Um,
there's so like I can talk about this game. I love this game.
that part was really good. I did like some of like the combats that you unlock throughout the game. Like you start with the very basic like kicking and punching, but if you collect like what are those
The Jade
jade
statues?
statues,
Mhm.
you unlock like different combinations of things. You also unlock different combos by leveling up. Like you have a cop meter, and you have what's triad
Triad.
meter,
Triad, and then you have face, which
and
is
then
like
your
your
face.
fear on. It's like your flashy, like if you fill your face meter, like it's like stuns enemies. They're like, "Oh shit, you're cool as fuck." Like I don't want to mess with you. I think that's what it implies, right?
I thought face was more or less just like how you're perceived around the
Like
neighborhood.
popularity.
It is, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like popularity or like feared, I guess, because you can increase it with like clothing, and like you could buy like certain like upgrades on cars and stuff through upgrading your face.
You can
Um,
upgrade cars.
Well, not upgrade, but like get like the
Okay.
better cars.
Yeah,
Like, did I miss a whole portion?
but you do like the jade statues, which give you like special combinations of attacking, which is pretty cool. There's like the one where you kind of like wrestle them down to the ground, like a that you would see like a professional, like Olympic wrestler, and then you just like punch him in the face.
I'll be honest with you. I found a bunch of them, but I didn't want to take the time to return them to unlock the different skills.
Yeah, you guys speed running.
And most of them are
Yeah.
like, I would say a good chunk of
In-
those are during missions. They're just
Although
like in the
I
area.
think all
Yeah.
but 4 or maybe 3 of them, because like the only one I'm missing is like the only one outside of a mission.
No, I think I'm missing 2. I probably just missed one in a mission, and because didn't realize like what I was looking for.
Yeah, it might have been like well, maybe not, because they're pretty. They make every collectible very ominous. It flashes, makes a sound if
it
you near
flashes
it.
pretty bright.
Yeah.
Honestly, this playthrough I didn't do half the map.
As you progress through the maps, though, like you find those. What are those statues called? Like
Just the health shrines.
Yeah, the health shrines. And as you find them and you pray to each one of them, like I think every 5 you get a health increase.
Yeah.
So I was doing that as I
5
seen
in
them.
each area as well.
5 in
Yeah,
each
like
area.
parts of the map.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Yeah, parts of the map. Yeah.
beginning of the game's like North Point or whatever. I don't remember the location.
Yeah,
and
there's
stuff.
like Aberdeen,
Yeah,
North
there's, like
Point,
Kennedy.
Kennedy, something,
Park.
Kennedy Park, and then there's Central. Another like pretty cool mechanic that I liked was when you're in some of the like pursuits in the cars, when you can lunge your body out, like you like jump onto the back of a vehicle.
So fun.
That's pretty cool because like it does it differently per what the vehicle is. So if it's like a car, you like land on the top of it and you kind of just pull the person out of the vehicle. But if it's like a van, you like hit the back and then you have to stabilize yourself by hitting like a button command, and then you kind of like shimmy your way over to the door.
Yep.
So that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. I also really love when you shoot other vehicles because it's absurd. If you blow out the tires of a car that's chasing you, it like shoots like I don't know, like 10 feet in the air and like flips and explodes.
It's so funny that this game takes such a serious toll of trying to set this story. And you have parts where you're like getting chased and shooting these cars and you're just spraying bullets and the animation's like the same shit or they're just appearing. It's a little dated.
The towards the end of the game when you're shooting the boats that are chasing after you.
Yeah, we're just spam.
So when a boat's about to blow up, the people jump out of the boat, which, hey, that's logic. This is about to blow up. I don't want to die in this explosion. However, every one of the characters that jump out of the boat, they would jump like they were like superheroes. Like they would be like, I don't know, like 15, 20 feet above the boats. I was like, is this a glitch? I was like, what is happening?
I don't remember them flying that
They
high.
were so high in the air. I was like, what is happening?
I never gave him a chance to jump off.
Wow,
Well,
Dan.
I only aim for the driver. Like once I remembered, like, oh, it's
Savage.
reversed.
Yeah, when
It's-
cars chase me and motorcycles, shoot the tire.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
There's no point, or just shoot only the driver.
I also love that in this world you can somehow lunge your car.
Or motorcycle. I was gonna talk
Yeah.
about like I ride wheelies everywhere. I always had that bike from the parking garage, and I'd ride a wheelie, and you can wheelie and dash left and right.
Yeah, you could dash
And e-brake.
forward, which
Yeah,
is
and
weird.
e-brake.
You could dash with a motorcycle? Mine wouldn't let me.
Wow. Yeah, I dashed with the motorcycle. I could do
Yeah.
it while wheeling.
Huh.
And e-brake, like turn while having a wheelie straight up.
Every time I needed to escape from the cops, I just destroyed the vehicles.
Yeah,
I
like-
never tried to like outrun them.
I would say that's a big flaw of this game is like how they did like the AI, but like this game offered so much like side content and like dumb things like the fighting rings. I'm assuming no one did the cockfighting.
I didn't.
Oh,
but
I did.
I did run into them.
Okay.
There's like a part where like there's just cocks like in this little construction area, and they'll start attacking you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I'm trying to like kick it and punch it, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah. Which this has been a weird staple of all the true crime games. Like I'm pretty sure it's in Streets of New York and Streets of LA. So like this is just continuing the role.
Dan, you did some of the cockfighting though.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So how's that set up? How does that work? Do you do
Just-
anything?
You pick your...
No, you don't do anything. No, you pick a side. You pick either
Yeah.
left chicken or right chicken, and it'll give like stats on the chicken. Like, hey, this chicken has this many wins. This chicken has this many wins, and it says like their name, who bred them, like all that kind of stuff. Super random, but whatever. And then you place your bet on it, and then they place them both down at the same time, and then they start messing each other up. Last
How many
one alive
times did you
wins.
win?
I won once out of the 2 times I did it.
Oh, so you only did twice. All right.
You went to Mike Tyson's of chickens.
Yeah.
Went to heavyweight.
Yeah, but there's pretty good like side content. They did a good job with like, adding all these missions and like they added like a dating part.
Right, which I met Emma Stone's character, and we did like which is like the required mission with her.
Yeah, she shows you the
Yeah.
dojo, and then that was it.
And I was like, she kind of sucks as a character.
Yeah, but you never even dived any.
Right, so I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
good. Because it's like, oh, give her a call. And I'm like, no, I'm going to call Tiffany instead.
Tiffany or, like,
Sing karaoke.
Yeah. Oh, the karaoke's so weird.
It is. It's so
I
odd.
hate it.
Yeah. After playing like Yakuza, I would rather do that version of karaoke.
Oh, the Yakuza and Like a Dragon, like Yakuza Like a Dragon's karaoke, so good.
Yeah, I like that this game gives you tons of options and tons of content for now being super cheap.
Yeah, I didn't explore too much. I did try to do at least one of each side mission just so I could see. So I had like some
Like extra cop
grounds.
stuff. Yeah.
Because there's those cop missions that you can actually go and like restrain them, like the bad guys, which is interesting because usually you're just kicking the shit out of them.
Yeah, you're less of an undercover at that point.
Right, because I did a mission. I was like in like a SWAT van, and I went to like this
those are pretty
shootout
cool.
at like like a drugstore or something, and like I got out and like I killed like 4 guys, and they were like, "All right, this guy you have to bring in alive," and I was like, "What?" So I just shot him, and they were like, "Mission failed." So then I did it again, and I was like, "Oh shit, you can restrain him!" Like I tackled him to the ground, like handcuffed him. I was like, "Oh, this is like a whole different side of this game."
Yeah, there's a lot to this game. That's why I was like, us trying to like get through it really quick.
And like I did some of the races because I unlocked like a car for that. It's just in my garage currently, like just all the time.
They have, like super fast, like Lamborghini looking thing.
Yeah, it's like a Class A.
Yeah, it's not the fastest in the game, but it's good.
So I use that to like everything, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna roll up on this next mission of the story, and I'm gonna be looking good. And I get there, my car's like falling apart, the door's like half off, the hood's crunkled, and I'm like, I suck at driving this game.
One of my favorite things is when you're taking those girls out and like they have you do that race and stuff. When we got back and like they opened the trunk to get their stuff out of it, the trunk was a caved in windshield smash.
Mine too. It was so bad.
I was so happy that the cutscene fucked up there.
I just love that like your damage showed on your vehicles.
Mm.
So you'd be having like this like conversation like, you know, with another like gang member or something. Like in the back, it's just like your beat up taxi car that you stole from someone. It's just like, And then he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this place. We gotta take this guy out." And it's like, "Hey, drive my car instead." And you're like, I don't know if you should let me do this. Did you see what I rolled up in?"
All right, Duke.
Yeah. Ricky's car is really cool. I like that
Yeah,
one. That's the one.
That's that car.
Yeah. No, there's like a lot of things that stood out. The story's really good. I know we've kind of stayed away from it, like just in case, but it develops
really
quite
like
a bit.
the story.
Yeah,
That's
it's done really well. You kind of work your way up the ranks, and then you have like battles with the enemy gangs and internal battles with like other. What are they technically?
Yeah,
Other
so
Redpos?
you start off fighting and beefing with Dog Eyes, which is another Red Pole. So he's like a captain of this, like a captain in the Sun on E.
Right, and he's
And
another
then-
guy that you know from childhood.
Yeah, you were the first person to technically stab him because that's what they say, like right off the rip. And like he's the guy that basically killed your sister. Like he got her hooked to drugs.
Yeah, so like you beef with him for a little bit, you end up like taking over the market. That's like the very beginning because like Dog Eyes is like that's your territory, but he's somehow like
Yeah, he's taking over the night market.
yeah, so he's taking over like all the vendors. That's kind of where it like explains to you how to play.
Mhm. I think that was a good tutorial.
Right, I think it's done really well. It kind of gives you like an idea of how everything works. And then you have like a fight with I can't remember what that guy's name is at
Is
the
it
top.
Ming?
Like he's like on the top of the roof, like after you chase him up there.
I
And
don't
that's what,
remember anybody's names
Is it,
really.
I think is it Ming?
oh, it is Ming. Yeah, because he's he's the meth addict.
Yeah, he's the guy that like talking about the story. He's the guy that keeps telling everybody you're a rat.
Right. And holy shit, the part when he tries to call you a rat in front of Winston.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit! Like, I don't want to like spoil too much of it, but
Yeah, it's hard to talk about this game without doing spoilers because there's a lot of big, heavy hitting parts.
Yeah.
which I guess we gave the spoiler warning, so I'm just
Oh,
gonna,
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that one. So Ming, after you, what's his name, Popstar, you get him arrested for like dealing.
Yeah, he's like your-
drugs.
Yeah, good old Pop Tart.
Yeah,
Pop-Tart.
yeah. He's the one selling all the drugs for like and bringing in it for the Sunny on Yi.
Right, so you get Popstar arrested, and then Ming's back at Golden
Koi, yeah.
Golden Koi, which is
Golden
like
Koi.
Winston's like home, like office, I guess, for the beginning of the game. And you come back, and Ming's like, "Hey, that guy's a rat." And then like Winston's kind of like in your face about it, like, you know what happens to the rats, and they like throw you on the table, and he's like, "I'm a fucking rat," and then he like looks at Ming, and he's like, "Who's still getting drugs or whatever?" And Ming's like, "What are you talking about, man?" And Winston's like, "All right, you know what, fuck this," and he pulls out that golden pistol, and he just fucking point blank like just shoots him directly in the face.
Doesn't it doesn't like hesitate at all, and like, what is his name? Carlton.
Conroy.
Conroy. I hated like that. I mean, eventually he gets better, but I do like
Yeah.
he keeps fucking with you the whole time, calling you a rat because
Yeah.
you show up out of nowhere and all this shit starts happening, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you were the rat, but I mean,
that's
at the end-
technically right.
At the end, are you though?
No. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
and no. Yeah.
So that
do
part's
it.
really good, and like, I was like, holy shit! Like Winston's like not a little bitch.
No one in that like story besides. I mean, I would say Jackie's the weaker link, but like you need him to be the weaker link in the story.
I like Jackie, and I like
Sure.
that he throughout the game he's like really the only one with like a conscience,
Mm-hmm.
because as he develops, he's like, he's bottom guy on the totem pole. He's like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like, I love being part of this. And then later on, he ends up killing someone. And he's like, I'm shaking. He's like, what? He's like, I don't feel good. Like, I didn't think he'd look like that. Like, he's like, I always imagined it, but it's like, it's different when you actually do it. And your character is like, hey, like, you got to calm down. It'll be all right. Like, you got to give us some time.
After you've killed everybody.
And after that, Jackie's like, I don't know if I want to be part of this anymore. Like, I don't think this is for me. And then, of course, Smile Lee.
Yeah,
He starts fucking with him.
Oh, he tortures fucking Jackie.
Yeah.
For 18K, the other gang. Well, because so we're gonna go to like one of my favorite parts, and also pretty sad. Is like you start developing relationships. Like you do this awesome kind of like escort mission, like taking Winston's girl around, and you like develop like, oh, she's so nice, and then you have the wedding part, which is super sad.
That's Red Wedding before Game of Thrones. Red Wedding.
Yeah, before Game.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good though.
That part's really good though. Like story wise, it's really good, and then afterwards, where you're like escorting Uncle Poe out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And all these people are coming up, and you're just like you're like dragging them along, and you're just popping on people as you're trying to leave the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, get him to the fucking hospital. Like, we got this. But I wasn't expecting Winston to die like that way.
Yeah, like obviously I knew this time around because this is the second time I played this game. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
And then
I kind of assumed just Peggy would die, and then it'd make Winston like more angry and like go after Dog Eyes.
And then you would assume she would live when he's like, take her out of here, that she's dead.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that part's really cool because of the story and how it develops. But after that, you see Winston's mom, which is kind of crazy throughout the beginning of the game. She loses her shit.
Oh, dude, she's merciless.
Because she makes
I love it.
You go and grab, what's his name? Like Johnny?
Yeah.
He says Ratface or whatever.
Ratface Johnny.
Ratface, yeah.
And she goes, hey, get him and bring him back here. And you're like, okay, no questions asked. Like, I got you. You grab him, you bring him back there, and you're like, here he is. And then he's like, I don't know shit, or whatever. And then she pulls out that big old hatchet, and he's like, I'll tell you anything you want. And then she stabs him with it, and then later on, she feeds him, or she feeds Dog Eyes him.
Yeah, his like ears of him.
And I was like, what is happening? This is so gruesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, awesome character. Anything else like, any favorite parts that you guys had, like Tony and Dan, since me and Tons have just been rambling on?
You guys pretty much touched on everything, honestly.
I like the part where you're fighting that other assassin. Like, I
don't
remember his name. Like, where he this is when you find out, like, where like you find out you've been betrayed by the Interpol guy, or I can't remember. What's his name? Some of a P.
Pandrew?
Yeah. Why is that such a weird name?
That's a weird name.
It is a weird name.
But like when you find out, like, because he rats you out to that assassin guy, because he's like, oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And then you like kind of break out and you're limping, you're all like shirtless and bloody. That's when you start like throwing people through like drywall. Like I threw somebody in a fridge.
That's the table saw part.
Yeah, it starts getting like real gruesome, and then like I went extra hard with like the shotgun, or not the shotgun, but like the guns. Like during that part, it was fun.
And then you fight those two dudes in like the sauna, and I burned that guy.
Yep.
On the thing, like I don't know if that's what that's considered, like coal fire.
Yeah, like they pour water on the steam the sauna.
Yeah.
Right. And I like pushed his face into it.
Yeah.
And that Mr. Thom, is that his name? Thom?
Tong.
Mr. Tong.
Yeah, that's the assassin guy.
I don't know what happened, but he was basically trapped in a corner, and I just kicked the shit out of him for like a minute, and then he died.
Yeah, I kicked the shit out of him. What do you mean?
Like, he didn't even move.
Did you? Oh, no, he moved on me. You counter him.
Yeah, mine, I could counter him, and then after I got so far, his attacks I couldn't
He-
counter, but then I would
then you
get
have to
like
do the quick time
buttons to
event.
press.
Yeah, they like force you
Yeah.
to do the quick time event.
The second time those didn't pop up, I could just counter everything.
I didn't even
Yeah.
get to that part. Like I said, he was like
Yeah.
trapped in the corner by the door that you leave in after you beat it. And I just kicked the shit out of him for, like I said, like a minute, and then like all of his health went away, and then I punched
Another
the
one of
shit
my
out of him in
favorite
the
missions
cutscene.
is when you go and like with what's his name? It's like broke. What's her name is like Broken Nose Jade with her
Yeah,
It's like
she's like
Jiang.
Jang. It's like
Yeah.
Aunt
Jang.
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 Ain't Jang. You go with
Yeah.
her, like her buddy. I don't remember his name. The fat dude with this like shit all
Oh,
over his
it's-
shirt.
What is it? Something crab. Old man crab.
Something. Let's see.
I think it might be old salty crab.
Old salty crab. That's what it is. Are you talking about breaking into the house?
Yeah, and you're like move the piano, set the clock to whatever time. Like you're like pranking the other red pole. Or
Well,
the
he's
other,
like the temporary like leader because he's like the
Yeah.
nephew of Uncle Poe.
Yeah.
But you go in, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, move the piano, and he's like, I can't help you because I pulled my groin when we jumped over
Yeah.
that wall.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I love that part.
There's like some hacking stuff that we didn't really talk about either, which I
I
thought
actually
was
like
kind of
the
weird,
hacking.
but I was like, oh, this is cool.
Like I like the way they did the guess the numbers and they give you
It's
like
like
I didn't feel like it
Wordle.
was too. Yeah, I guess so. I haven't played Wordle, so
Oh well, if it pops up, like it shows you, like, you know, if it's yellow, then it's in the combination, but in the wrong
Yeah.
place. It's the same way that they do that game too.
in Wordle.
But then like the frequencies are neat when you're like setting up the bugs,
Yeah,
or when
and-
you
and
like
it-
track somebody, like you have to get in the middle of the triangle.
Yeah, then you have to like guess locate. Yeah, it's good. I like all the side missions. The only mechanic thing I don't like is karaoke.
I don't like it because it's weird and it lasts for way too long.
It's like almost a full song.
Yeah, I like the mission that you just randomly like help that American like hip hop star.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
getting
King?
his
Yeah.
import export like whatever job. Yeah, and you meet another girl and you get her like number.
Yeah, the Russian girl. Anything else, or do you guys want to talk about art and music?
We can talk about her.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about the whole Mr. Tong thing, like a little bit more, because the beginning of that mission. Well, I guess not the beginning, but whenever you get like captured or whatever,
Mhm.
I feel like that makes no sense because you get like a drill through your knee, you get like a hammer through your
You're a
foot,
fucking superhero, man.
your
Yeah.
stomach gets all sliced open, and then you just
times.
brush it off like it's nothing. Yeah,
Well, in the
multiple
beginning-
times.
Well, in the beginning of that mission, they make it seem like you're really hurt.
Oh yeah, because you're like Droggy, like you barely fight off the
Yeah.
first guy.
You're leaving bloody footprints like
Yeah,
everywhere
and you like
go.
sneak up on the dude taking a piss, and you drown him in the toilet, and you like fall over, and you're like sitting on the floor. And I'm like, okay, like this is gonna be like more like stealthy, because you're like
And then
so
it
like
wasn't.
hurt. And then like you get like the third room in, they're like, all right, fight all 10 of these guys in the kitchen. You can use
Yeah.
whatever you want.
And then after that, everybody's
And then you're
got
back
guns.
to normal.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
I
there's a
hated it.
vending machine in this penthouse suite.
Hated
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, continuity wise, that was
Yeah,
bad.
that's pretty
I think another
odd.
part I like is when you're like, you start hanging out. What was his name? Ricky?
Ricky is
Probably.
the guy that works for Sunny, like the weird guy that's
Yeah.
obsessed with like, you ever fuck famous pussy?
Yeah.
guy?
Well, Sonny's that guy. Ricky's like the
Ricky's
dude
his
that-
like little.
Ricky's like his
dude.
friend that has that girl. I don't know, Vivian.
which is Sonny's girl, because you go to blackmail them or get information or something.
Well, you
Sure.
like,
Right?
but he tells you to bug her apartment,
Yeah,
then he
Ricky's
send-
there.
and then he sends her to your house, and she's like, "Oh, like she's trying to seduce you," and you're like, "Nah, man." Like,
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
and which helps you later,
Yeah.
because Ricky's like, "Man, you don't know, like, you don't know boundaries or whatever," and he's like, "I didn't fucking do anything with her."
And he's like, oh, come on then. We're good. We're cool.
Yeah, we're fine. Come on, Wade. Don't murder 10 people in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
So I this at towards the end of the game, and I'm just gonna mention it. We don't have to talk about it. Putting Smile in the ice chipper.
Oh, dude. So great.
True. Everything in this game you do has some sort of like satisfaction.
It's so like just sometimes it's so gruesome for no reason.
Yeah, like randomly.
Yeah, like it's like a lot of like just running down and beating up people, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then he just electrocuted this guy to death, or like
Yeah, you throw him into a generator.
right, it's like you put his face in one of those fans that like work on a building for like the ducks. And you're just like, here you go.
I feel like it helps. Like, I don't know how to really explain this in the right way because this is gonna come out wrong, and I know that. But helps like playing through the game, and you start meeting like these characters, and you really start to hate some of them.
Yep.
And
Right.
he's one of them. So it's like really, really great to be able to throw him into the fucking ice chipper.
I know. And it's like they set it up so perfectly. Like they take a character that I personally really liked with Jackie, and
Yep.
the way you
Yeah.
find him dead is just it's so gruesome. And then you're like, all right, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. And then you have to go kind of through the loops. And then you get there and you're like, oh yeah, a one-on-one fist fight. Like I'm gonna fuck this dude up. And then and then you're like, okay, like this kind of not satisfying. And then it's like, pick him up, throw him in the ice chipper. And you're like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I also just quickly mentioned before we go to art music, leaving the funeral, super fun. I think that was my favorite mission in the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you know, like you call him out. You're like, oh, like the police are leaving. And you're like, well, you're a piece of shit or whatever. Like you call out like him, and then it's like you're going to fucking war, and you just got to work your way down to the building.
My
in the
favorite part
cemetery.
is you just jump. They're like good with the pistol. You could just jump off and like kill everybody before you even hit the ground.
Yeah, and then like when you get to the building, they're like,
Grenade launcher.
yeah, like there's a guy with a grenade launcher, and you go take it from him, and then he's like, all right, like there are all these cars are showing up, like you better take care of them, and you're just grenade launching fucking vehicles as they roll up. And I'm like, this is really cool. And then that's how you know like shit's about to go down with what's his first name? Smile Lee?
Big Smiley.
Big Smile Lee. You're like the way he is in that moment, you're like, okay, like shit's about to go down
Alright.
with this dude.
Since we're talking about like the story and stuff, we'll just wrap it up. I love like kind of how it ends. Like you're still like an anti-hero. Like I don't know how to place you because you're a rat and then you're not a rat.
Right, yeah, so you're a
I
hero.
totally
but
forgot
not a
about like
hero.
that whole aspect of the story,
What? That you're a cop?
like the whole cop stuff with Pandrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
And
help
Raymond
that
and stuff.
other you help the other cop too.
Raymond?
Yeah.
Or Tang?
No, the
Tang.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the end of it because like they talk about it. They show you like you just arrested Pandrew.
Yeah,
and
you're like,
then,
I'm gonna
like-
throw you in prison.
Is it Ricky or who's in the car with Aunt?
It's Ricky.
It's yeah.
No, that's not Ricky. That's Uncle Poe's
that not
advisor.
Ricky?
I can't remember what his name is.
They're not the same person.
No.
I don't
No?
think
Uh-uh.
I thought they were. Like this whole time, I was thinking they.
I'm pretty
were
sure they're
not.
different people. They look slightly different.
But so you have that like whole part because she sends you the information about Pandrew.
Yeah, Pandrew. It's him like killing Uncle Poe like by putting poison in his IV or whatever.
Yeah, and like sets him up, and like he confesses right before doing that, like letting the Triad get away with everything, and letting them like bolster up. And then, but there's a part where they're like, "What are we gonna do about Wei?" And she was like, well, she basically says like, "I don't think he'll be a problem."
She talks about how like you showed loyalty, and she's like, "We'll just let it go."
Oh, what? Oh no, he's like, "Oh, he's one of them. He's dirty." And she's like, "Did he not show loyalty? Like he has to be the most loyal, or something like along that
It's
line."
interesting, and I guess this is a good time to place this. There was going to be a sequel to this.
Yeah,
I wonder what that would have been.
and it was called Sleeping Dogs 2, and it just got canceled. I don't know what the
I think this would
reasonings
be a
were.
great movie. This is like one of my favorite games. I'm like, this should be a movie.
Yeah, I think it could be turned into a really good movie, or like I could do like a little mini series.
Yeah. Well, I wish the voice actor wasn't like the guy that plays Wei Shen. He look. I mean, that's him. He could do that role. Like,
Yeah, I did see that online when I was researching the game. It looks just like him.
So art and music, art style, a little dated, but it kind of just reminds me of like I said, like GTA in that aspect. I mean, it's not the most glamorous looking game I've ever seen, and like I said, it's a little dated, but the environments look all
It's not.
right.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
no,
It's not
I
like
mean,
groundbreaking.
Yeah, I didn't
no,
look at
there's
it like, man, these graphics are terrible.
like
Yeah.
I bumped everything up on my computer because it could handle mech settings. And it is like, oh, I mean, it just looks more modern. Doesn't change anything.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think they're bad or anything. I just at the time probably super good, like for what it is. It's like a big sandbox world, and it looks all right.
Yeah,
But
it feels
now
more lived in for a game of that time, though.
it's very like populated. Like there's always something happening. So overall, I think the art was all right. Like I said, and I think Dan said it. It's like not groundbreaking or anything, but even what 10 years later,
Yeah.
it's not like the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I'd say like it didn't feel like I was playing like because the gameplay handles very well. Like in the aspect of like everything was fluid, driving was fluid. I like all the signs. The AI is kind of dumb and shit, but like everything like that night market feels lived in. Like when you're going through.
Yeah, when you're driving around, there's always vehicles and stuff, which in Hong Kong you would see.
Mhm.
Right.
It's like very rarely is there going to be like nobody around.
I should have turned subtitles on to see what people were yelling all the time though.
The only issue I had was sometimes in the middle of a fight, the camera would get all wonky and I wouldn't see my character. And I would just be hitting buttons. But I played on the 4, so I didn't play on the computer.
Oh, I played on the PC.
Yeah, I played on the PlayStation because it was one of the free games like a couple years ago, and I still had it downloaded, so I didn't have to buy it.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I had played it on my Xbox, and it also was free, like with
Yeah.
gold, like forever ago.
Yeah,
And then me and Tonsa were PC, right?
Yeah, I played it on the PC, but I played it on, I played it when it came out, like on the 360.
Music wise,
I
there's
didn't really listen to it.
some
too
stuff
often.
fits. Like there's music in like the market and stuff that fits like the environment, but like when you're in a car, the radio's awful. It's like
Yeah, I turned it off.
atrocious.
I think it'd be fine because like it's stuck within its realm of like the culture probably of the music. But if this game would have came out a little bit later, they could have used like 88 Rising and stuff like Joji's label. Like they have some actual like Keith Ape and all those guys, or he might be Korean,
Yeah,
or like more Asian
he is Korean.
styled rappers. I can't remember the other guys' names.
There's
That group.
if you look at the credits of this game, they had
Mhm.
so many metal bands.
I didn't listen to the Metal Station.
I was looking
yeah, I
at the
didn't either.
I was looking at the credits. They have like Trivium and like
Wow,
shit.
I had the wrong station on.
I was thinking about this. And I was like, oh, I gotta mention this, and now I can't remember any other band other than Trivium. But it was like a bunch of metal bands, like big metal bands, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Do you think maybe those were just all in the karaoke?
No, because that was a separate thing. Because there's like Steely
Okay.
Dan was in karaoke. and-
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I didn't hear any of those metal songs. I'm assuming it was a radio station. I didn't.
I'm assuming it's a
across.
radio station.
But I was like, that's kind of neat. Like it doesn't really fit, but it's kind of neat.
I'm looking at the radio stations now.
Outside of that, I think voice acting done really well.
I'd say so. It held up pretty well. And it did a good job of bringing like English and like Chinese.
Yeah, there's like in between, like they'll say like phrases or words or whatever.
I actually wanted to play this game subtitled because I wondered if it was going to be like a, because now as being like a weird guy, I am watching like anime and like other movies subtitled. I was like, I wonder if I would get like a different experience because I would be able to pick up the background noise as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
that's
had like Blackstone Cherry, Machine Head,
Yeah, I seen.
Soulfly, Trivium. Yeah, they had a different bunch of different ones.
yeah, it was a bunch of like metal bands. Like, and I was like, I
Yeah,
didn't hear this at all.
Kill Switch Engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, I just turned the radio off to be honest.
So what was your guys' time to completion?
8 hours and 5 seconds exactly. I mainly just did story.
I was at
Um,
8 hours and 36 minutes.
Mine was, I believe, around 7 hours and 50 minutes, somewhere in
Yeah.
that.
Mine was like
Ballpark.
9.5 hours, somewhere around there.
So it's when we looked this up, we agreed upon it because it said it was like average was 14 hours for the main story. I don't feel like it is.
I don't think
There's no
so.
way. Like,
But like, if
Yeah,
you
I
do the
don't
side
know what
stuff,
that
there's a
has to be
lot of
from.
side stuff.
yeah, I
I think
don't.
it's
Well,
just
if
because
it's just main story is what it counts as, so like, I don't understand why they were getting 14 hours.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because people aren't playing it to get through it, maybe they're just doing more side stuff than they realize.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Well, I think it's maybe part of that is like at the beginning when you're not really sure what you're going to be doing for the next mission.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned that to you. I was like, I like it. When I was first started playing it, I was like, I like it, but then it's like all of a sudden it's like you only have side stuff, and I'm like, am I supposed to be doing side
Oh,
stuff?
I think I told you that though. Like, just do one mission, doesn't matter what it is, and they'll come back.
Right, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, maybe that's where people extend their playtime.
Which then you text me, you're like, I hate that. And I was like, oh, it's just because it's not designed for us to try to
Yeah,
barrel
just
through it.
to like go slam through this story. They want you to do all the side shit.
But it was funny because like I was like, I don't really want to do the side stuff right now. Like you have me hooked in the story. Stop
Oh yeah, I
taking
definitely
this
think
away
I'm gonna
from
go
me.
back and do the DLC because I never played the DLC.
Yeah.
Nobody went to the gambling boat, right? That
No.
part's in the
I
game.
didn't even know
No,
that
I saw it at
existed.
the end and was like,
Yeah,
ooh, I should go
You
there.
can go there. I was saving all my money. I didn't spend any of my money because I'm gonna go fucking wager it.
I only spent
But
money
yeah,
one
like-
It's a
time.
good gambling house. It's really cool because then you'll get side missions there, like throw the drunk out and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking about going there because I had like $958,000 at the end of the game.
I spent money one time when you pick up Jackie from the massage place. He said, "Hey, get a massage." I said, "Since I'm here."
Since I'm here.
Did you guys see the inventory, like the special inventory for the definitive edition, like the outfits you could buy?
Was that
Like
in
ones-
the legend, like the
Yeah, the legendary.
clothes
Yeah, did you
store?
see that? My favorite
No.
is George St. Pierre had like a sponsorship with this game, so like his merch is in the game and like
Like the UFC
it's like
fighter.
a special thing. Yeah,
That's so random.
it's super weird, but they have like callbacks to like there's like a Yakuza one that like rate or lowers your face value or raises it. There's like ones that increase like counters. There's Deus Ex like had a character. I don't know, it's a neat idea that you could spend that stuff and like get something out of it.
I didn't really know what to spend money on.
Yeah.
Same.
Mainly just cars and outfits, and then I just was like, I'm saving money to see how much money I can gamble. And then I didn't even end up doing it.
Yeah, I wore a t-shirt and like baggy jeans the whole thing, other than when it makes you change.
I hated when they changing the Winston's clothes. Hated that.
Yeah, that's when you dress up like a monk.
That part's fine. I like that part. I'd rather dress like a monk.
But then you come out and he's like, "Oh, I need to change the clothes," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, put these on."
Here's Winston's.
Yeah. So I guess, is there anything else we want to talk about before we move into the back half of this episode?
No, I mean we're not super structured, but I
Yeah.
let's just go.
Yeah, let's just go with it.
All right. So towards the end of each episode for every game we play, We go around and we see who would recommend the game and why or why not. So this episode, we are going to start with Dan. Would you recommend this game and why or why not?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I feel like, as Tonsa said earlier, there's a bunch of stuff to really do in it, and the story's pretty good. Keeps you kind of hooked.
And if you get the definitive edition, there's DLC packs that extend like story stuff that's not even included in what we talked about.
And I'm sure the definitive edition is probably cheaper nowadays.
For $2.99.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
What about you, Tony?
I definitely would recommend this game because like a lot of the fight scenes, like it brought me back to like I don't know if you guys ever played the Punisher game on the PlayStation 2, where you like use the environment to interrogate people. It literally like made me remember that game and stuff, and like it was pretty cool. And the only thing I did not like, I didn't like the driving in this game. It's like GTA's driving is a little bit better than this, but I mean, I think this game is better than GTA, honestly. Yeah, I'd totally recommend it. I would
Bold
totally,
statement.
and it's
Yeah.
it's way cheaper than GTA as well. Graphics might not be up to date as with it, but like I'd say it's funner than GTA, honestly.
What about you, Tonsa? So, I mean,
I guess
second
I'm
time
biased
through it.
coming in. Yeah, I was like, I'm biased coming in. I loved this game. I loved it when I first played it. I loved it just as much going through it again. And I'm glad it held up. It didn't feel like I was playing an outdated game from the past. I mean, it has its little bit of flaws, but I didn't have to force myself through it. But there's a bunch of DLC and stuff. There's so much content. There's at least like 40 to 60 hours. And especially if you can get it cheap, I recommend it wholeheartedly.
I never played this going into it. I've always heard you talk about it, Tonsa, and I was like, yeah, maybe. I would recommend it. I think what really dragged me in was the story.
It's good.
Some of the gameplay stuff, like, it's fine. When you just fist fight, that's good. The gunplay, the car chasing and stuff, I could do without it. But I mean, it's part of the story. It makes sense. But the story itself, super good. I loved characters. I hated characters. I had mixed feelings about characters, and I had characters that I was like, I don't care about this at all. Like some of the
Duke.
girls you're supposed to date.
No.
But overall, like, especially for the price we got this for, with how much content's there, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Like you said, it's not old and clunky and annoying to play now that it's aged. It still feels fine. I had a good time with it, and overall, I think it still looked decent enough. But yeah, I'd recommend this to people. I mean, if you don't like GTA at all, maybe
If
it's
you're
not your
into any
thing.
bit like kung fu, because I do pretty good like kung fu. Yes. I should have picked Jet Li Unleashed or whatever.
Just stranglehold, meth lab explosion.
Yeah, only shooting meth labs. Should do
So,
wet.
with that being said, Tony has the pick for the month of February. So, Tony, tell us what game we're playing and why you chose it.
We are going to be diving into Arkham Asylum, one of the first Batman game that came out in 2009 by Rocksteady Games. It's also WB Games. I picked this because we were playing Sleeping Dogs and there's a lot of fighting into it and a lot of mechanics remind me of Batman, and I was like, I wonder how long that is. It says the main story is only like 11 hours. I remember beating it in like 6 or 7 hours. So I'm sure nobody should have a problem with this game, and it's fun. I really enjoyed playing it when I played it whenever it came out, and I always wanted to get back into playing it again. And what was it? It was like $10 for the entire collection on Steam last week during the Lunar sale. So I picked it up during that, and yeah, we're gonna see how it is on the computer.
I've never played Arkham Asylum. I played Arkham City first.
Oh, okay.
And I went to go back to Arkham Asylum, and because Arkham City was so fresh, I was having
Right.
issues with it. So
Yeah.
I only played like maybe the first half hour or so. So I'm actually excited to go through it now.
Right. So some of the glitches and some of like the movement and like environment from you playing City first, I understand why you only played like a half an hour of it.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
can't.
total
I
sense.
got to
That
this and I
makes
was
total
like,
sense. Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah.
Way slower and clunkier.
Yeah, it's definitely slower than that one. But the story is so good in it.
Yeah, we
It's what
just
makes
talked about the story the other day.
Yeah, we did talk about this the other day. I think it was we talked about it we talked about when we went with Dan's birthday to round one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thoughts, you guys? Dan, Tonsa?
I've already played it like years ago, but it's been long enough that I don't remember much besides what we were talking about the other day.
Never played any of the Batman games.
Good start.
Yeah.
Eh.
All right, great. I had a lot of fun talking about sleeping dogs on NLGC. But before we go, we wanted to share where you can find us online.
First, we have a YouTube channel called Nerdlag where we'll be uploading some great content. So make sure to subscribe for the latest videos. We have a Facebook page at Nerdlag Game Club. Make sure to like the page so you can get the latest news about the podcast. You can also find us over on Twitter at Nerdlag, where we share some of the latest gaming news and stuff we find interesting. And lastly, we have a Discord at Nerdlag where you can talk to us in voice chat and join in some discussion about everything nerdy like video games, anime, movies, and chat with like-minded people. If you'd like to join, ask for an invite. We also want to thank everyone that tuned in for this episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you share it with your friends. And also follow us on Spotify. It really helps.
On to final credits. This is the segment where we talk about the things we've been playing or doing since the last episode. Is there anyone that wants to start off with anything?
Freaking Pokemon, man.
Same.
That's what you
Pokemon
guys been
Legends
playing.
have been consuming my life.
Oh, the new game? I have not got it.
Oh my god, I have like 25 hours in it already.
I have like 36. I haven't
So-
even beat the
I'm
game
pretty
yet.
sure you both told me you had more than that.
No.
No.
So since last month
Estimated.
I rebought the Division 2 on the PC and was playing it, and I already have over 3 days logged.
Damn.
Jeez.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
actually thinking about the Division yesterday. I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder how that game is nowadays.
Well, it's pretty much over. The game is pretty much done. They're not releasing it anymore. It's the last season, from what I've gathered from it. So I was just playing
Yeah,
it.
you have
and-
that new game coming up that's going to be like that.
Yeah. What is
Oh,
it? The
yeah.
last day or whatever? The day
Yeah.
after?
Day after.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much what I'm waiting for. Is that?
But I played Pokemon Legends, and I started a series where I am going through beating every single GameCube game.
Oh, yeah.
I started with I'm using like a random number generator to pick the games for me, so like I'm not making the decisions. And the first game was Monsters Inc. Scream Arena, which is apparently a dodgeball game with the Monsters Inc. characters. So I finished that and uploaded that like abridged version. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm hoping to knock out more things. I know, Tons, we mention our like quests to try to finish as much as we could in January.
I think we did. I did one game.
I finished 5,
Damn.
so not too bad.
So what did you finish other than Sleeping Dogs?
Just Sleeping Dog. That kind of.
Okay.
I'm currently playing Hitman, the trilogy, and I don't think it's gonna take me long. I was having a blast playing that like yesterday.
Okay. I'm actually probably gonna buy the Uncharted series since the Uncharted movie's coming out.
They're good games. They're great games, actually.
Yeah. You always talked about them. I only played them for like. I think I played it when I first got my PS3, and then I just never went back to it because there's other things to play.
I don't know. Like the first game doesn't hold up as well. Like, oh, I'll tell you that much. Just mechanically,
Yeah.
like how it does it, but it like progresses as you know. You'll see improvement each game. Like
I've-
drastic.
I've never even turned on an Uncharted game.
They're good. I had them on the PS3, and then I have the collection. I should go through them.
Yeah, they released the collection for like $60. I'm gonna wait for it to drop a little bit and then I'll get it.
What?
But
Why? Why is it $60?
I don't know.
It shouldn't be, man. You could probably get 4 and the first 3 for under $20 together.
No, all right, yeah. Well, I think it's all like remastered and everything like
Well,
that.
it might be adding the Legacy Edition.
Yeah,
Also, it could be a whole new whatever because the movie's coming out.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just a money grab from that.
I'm also on this Valorant grind with Dan Boy and his brother.
What's up?
It's been fun.
I finished. I finished Guardians of the Galaxy.
How was that?
Combat gets extremely repetitive, but the story's good and the dialogue's good. So if you can get past the repetitiveness of the combat, it's pretty good. I just the last probably 2 hours of the game, I was like, oh, I just want to get to the story. Like the combat's like getting pretty old at this point.
I just remembered I did beat another game this month or in January. I beat Dead Cells finally. I was playing it on the Switch, and one day I actually finished it.
Nice.
Wow, love that for you.
I heard Dead
Yeah.
Cells is really good.
Yeah, it's difficult because like you have to do it all in one run.
Roguelike, man.
Yeah, but I ended up doing it. Like I don't know if it's just I returned to the game and it was easier, or what. I just felt like, or maybe I just was feeling it and just progressed that day.
Is there anything else that anyone wanted to talk about?
That's
No, I
it.
think that's it. I don't know.
I don't know. Play more video games, people. There's a bunch of hidden gems out there. You don't have to play everything that's main. That's about it.
Or do.
Or do.
Who am I to judge?
Or do whatever you do. Yeah, do
Yeah,
you fuck it.
just play whatever.
Live your
Uh,
life the way you want to.
All right, so it's that time to end the episode. So we're gonna go ahead and install the next game and get ready for it. So thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
Sayonara.
Bye.
Deuces.